Abusia, Dr. Evans, do you are academic researcher in Chebia and then research findings about the new patriotic party NPP election research work by in Abusia say oh video now on tia ubitima ko previous video akutie bi. Now read this video no ochiche in semu efa how we draw conclusion to the research findings no. Ocha chin person semu the new patriotic party, the leaders are more corporate the flag bearership position. Tiabusia Nantubashana Jemre, Nimkuti in details of the survey the new patriotic party upcoming election.
Okay, sample and data collection. So first tell us, what's a sample size, as they say in statistics?
Yes, so basically, if you look at the sample size, we are looking at the population. So as at 2023, the verified voters in 2023 was 204,893.
The delegates vote of the NPP, 204,000 people.
From the album, the official album. However, there is an amendment, but there is an ongoing verification for the new appointees, the former executives, the former appointees, and then the former executives, but they have not been added yet. So this one is as of 2023, and as of October, I put October there because there is a new addition that would be happening, but they're doing the verification. For the sample side, in August we did 20,000, which was 10%. And then for September and October, we did 26,000. Now, for percentage-wise, this is 12% for September, and we did 10% actually in August.
You spoke to 26,000 people.
So we sampled 26,150 delegates. Out of them, 6,282 were either unreachable or unavailable. Unreachable simply means that we called the number, couldn't go through. Either the number was wrongly inputted, it was no longer being used. Unavailable, we got the person on the phone, but unfortunately the person told you, I'm at church, I'm at work, I'm not in a position to talk to you. So out of that, if you look at it carefully, 19,868 are the people that participated out of the 26,150. And we need to declare all of this for people to understand the entire process and how it was done. And then we had one...
So you spoke to 19,000?
19,800. So we did that between September 22nd to October 5th.
How many people were speaking to the 19,000?
So we had 120 volunteers, but we're having between 20 to 50 in a day that we're actively doing that.
And you spoke to 19,000?
19,000, yes. And I have the audios. And you know, some of these things are subject to scrutiny. So what I do is that, for a platform like yours, I don't think you just bring anybody without going through scrutiny. So the best thing that you do is to ask the person the process, do everything. And I play the audios for quality assurance. Unfortunately, for ethical reasons, we can't put the audios in the public domain. However, if anybody wants it for evidence purpose, anybody wants to verify the process, wants to see how we did the sampling, follow through everything, it is all there. And I don't mind. I've done that with about 8 journalists. They verified it. Today, where I was, I showed it to them, and I show it to everybody.
Oh, I see. You had journalists listen to the audio.
Yes, listen. That's we played for quality assurance purposes.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Now, where did you draw the 19,000 from? Is it constituency polling stations, Southern Ghana, Northern Ghana? How did you do it?
So this was done for all the 16 administrative regions, and this was for all constituencies. Now, we did work called quota sampling. In simple terms, proportional. So, for example, if a constituency is about 1,400, another constituency is 400. You can't pick 100 here and 100 there. It will not be representative. So what we do is that if it is a 10% coefficient, it means that we are picking 140 for the 1,400, and we are picking 40 for that. So that will be representative.
So the representation by percentage will be the same across board.
Will be the same.
So if my constituency is 800 people, you are picking 10%, you pick 80. If another constituency is 600 people, you are picking 10%, you pick 60. So the numbers will not be the same, but the representation is about the same.
Exactly.
Okay, excellent. So you have a maximum 5 minutes per interaction. What does that mean?
So what happens is that we give them a time frame, but they were asking 3 questions, 3 major questions. The first question is that who did you vote for in 2023?
In the primaries.
In the primaries. And then the person will tell them, I voted for candidate A. Then they come to 2026. Who would you vote for come January 2026? Because I'll vote the same candidate A. And then we ask the person, if you have a change of mind about your candidate, and the other Who would you prefer?
Where are you more likely to go if you are changing your mind?
And that one, we called it as the next best alternative. And that is where we use that one. So when we come to the best case and the worst case, I'll explain that one to you, teachers. So we make them spend maximum 5 minutes, because sometimes you get people giving you straight answers within a minute or two. Sometimes you get people who are very passionate that would want to talk. We had somebody who spoke for 8 minutes, and we had to just tell the person, it's okay, we have to move on to the next person. So we make sure that within 5 minutes, so that we can achieve the targets that we set for ourselves.
Okay, so this is the basis. Now let's get into this. So this is our video one, producer. This is the end of video one, the basis of the research. Now let's get into it. Okay, so scenario construction.
Exactly. So for this one, because it's English, let's move on to the main table. Then I'll explain it. The numbers will make it easier for people.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the worst case scenario, and this is the best case scenario.
What does that mean?
Exactly. So the worst case scenario for my model simply means the most realistic scenario. This scenario does not...
That's what best.
The worst.
Worst case scenario is the most realistic
scenario.
So worst case scenario outcome is more likely than best case scenario. Is that what you're saying?
The worst case scenario is actually the data we gathered from the people without knowing the undecided and undisclosed. So what it means is that we are getting 94%.
That's the worst case scenario.
That's the worst case scenario, where the 94% have told us exactly who they are voting.
But there is a group who have not told you.
There's a group who have not told us. And this is where I think online some people were saying that it doesn't tally. There's 192 here, there's 204. Yeah. But they don't see the asterisks, they don't see the footnotes. And the footnote, I'm an accountant who like using footnotes a lot. So put asterisks there, number 1, number 2, and then we'll tell you to go and read the footnote. So the footnote here tells us the difference of the 6%.
I'll read that, yes. That controversial response, rebuttal, so that you can respond to viewers. I'll come to that. But hold on. So the best case scenario.
Yes. So I'm here to move to the best case
scenario.
So
the worst case scenario is the one that is without undecided voters and undisclosed voters.
Yes. So in that case.
Hold on. So if you're polling 100 people, and 10 of them don't talk.
Yes.
The worst case scenario is over the 90, is the results from the 90.
Yes.
And the best case scenario is the results from when the 10 speak.
No. So what is actually happening is that for the worst case scenario, we're having all the 100.
In worst case, you have all the 100.
All the 100.
Best case, you don't have all the 100.
I'm yet to even come to the best case. I'm still with the worst case. Once you understand, then I can proceed.
Okay, what's the worst case?
With the worst case scenario, with that 94%, what is actually happening is that 94% have told us exactly who they are voting for. Then there's 6%, which means 6 of them, who are telling us, unfortunately, I can't tell you who I will vote for.
Or haven't decided.
So that won't be undisclosed. The person is not comfortable telling us. And then there's those who are also confused about who do, and those are the undisclosed.
So that's best case scenario?
No, still with the worst case.
That's worst case
scenario.
What's the best?
But now when we move to the best case scenario, there are actually 3 variables that come to play. Variable number 1 is the undecided. Variable number 2 is the undisclosed. Variable number 3 is the next best alternative. So what do we do with the undecided and undisclosed? So we had about 12,000 for people that were undecided and undisclosed. What do? We put that data together, and then we do not want to assume. So for example, I heard from one of the other posters, some other posters saying that a number of undecided or undisclosed people would vote for this person. We didn't want to assume. So we picked that data again. Instead of the very first person that called that constituency, we give it to another person, a different person, to call them and see if some of them this time will move from undisclosed to disclosed and move from undecided to decided. Then we'll give it to a third, to a fourth person. By the time we are done with the fourth person, out of the 12,000, we're having about 3,000 now revealing who they are going to vote for. Now, because we are dealing with sampling, that 3,000 can be, and because we get a pattern within that 3,000, we can now extrapolate from that 3,000 all the way to that 12,000 that is undecided and non-disclosed, and say that 60% of these people are for this candidate A, 30% are for this. Then we can now apportion it. So that's how come, if you look at it, on this table, I did not include the undecided and undisclosed. But when you look at the report, when we are, even on the next page with the regions, you see the undecided and undisclosed. Which
so
is
how many of them, what percentage of them did you get to talk?
So actually what happened with it is that with the undecided and undisclosed, each one of them has a different variant. So we got 30% for undecided, and then we got 40% for undisclosed. Now the undisclosed people, majority of them is about the confidence they have with who they are talking to. Once they get to that point, they realize, oh, it's not another candidate's camp calling to know. Once they get to know, there is no fear revealing who. They are more likely to quickly let you know. The undecided, they are still in the process of deciding about who they want to vote for. So those people, we had 30 and then we had 40.
When you are speaking to delegates in Zolo Hopper, do you speak Ewe? Do your people speak Ewe to them?
So that's very, so my personal assistant, Maxwell here, he speaks Ewe.
Okay.
And he and Emilia and other people who speak Ewe called those from voter. And then we had to get somebody from the north. And all these audios, I can review something.
When you are speaking to delegates from Ladade Kutupon or Dodo, do you speak in Ghana?
So we had to get one or two people, but most of the times when you speak English, it goes with them. Where we think we get to a barrier, then we bring in a special person that can speak that language.
When you are speaking to delegates in Ukugwa and Edukrom, do you speak Mente?
So those people, 3 English majority worked around. Where we had a challenge was with some parts of the north and some parts of Volta, and we had to get people to assist with that. But the majority of the country, English 3 worked with them.
When you are speaking to delegates in Tamale North, do you speak in Dagbani?
So I think most of them, as far as Dagbani, we didn't have a problem with that. The English was okay with that.
So in the worst case scenario, you say what? You got 44% for Kennedy Japan.
Yes.
39% for Mahmoud BAWUMIA, 6% for Brian Achampong, and 3%. So when you statisticians say that I've spoken to 19,000 people out of a potential of 200,000 that are going to vote, and you are making an extrapolation and a prediction, for me, a layman, 19,000 is a whole world away from 200,000. Yes. How do you make the determination? Is it human behavior? Is it sociology that because we all speak a certain language, we are likely to vote in the same way? Is it because we all eat the same food, we are likely to vote? I don't understand it.
So what normally we say in research is, first and foremost, you state your biases, you state your limitations. And if you are stating your biases, the number one bias about some of this one is the non-response. The number one bias is that it's temporal, it's within a period. So this one is not predictive, it's a snapshot for September. So what is actually happening is that though we were able to talk to 19,000 people, there is homogeneity that we assume within the delegates. These are number one, NPP people. Number two, these are executives from the polling station all the way to the executives for the constituency. These are people that if you do random sampling and you get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 randomly, you begin to have an idea where the majority of them, their mindset goes. So the first thing about research is that your sampling technique is very important. And how we do this is that make sure that number one, it is representative, it is significant, and also ensure that you are getting it right with a random sampling so that there are no biases that will be. So for example, what we do is that we put it into the system, it pulls the random one out, then we get the album to get the face of who they are talking to. The reason why we use the album to give it to them, to get the face, is that if you're dealing with an adult, then you realize that for the adult, I would have to use this tone. You're dealing with a younger person so that you know who and how to approach the person.
Okay, man and woman you will know.
Yes,
but their ages you might not know from their names.
No, the ages are there. In the album, the ages are there.
Oh, the ages are there.
Yes,
so why do you need a photograph to determine whether it's old or young?
Oh, no. Sometimes some of the ages are wrong. So you can see some
You mean football age?
I don't know football age or data mistake or whatever, but you can see someone who looks like 50 and the age is 22. And I think maybe it was data input error or something. And these ones, anybody who has the album can attest to that there are 1 or 2 errors in terms of data input, and that happens. Yeah.
Now, that's interesting. So this is your 44% for Kennedy Japan, and 39 is not a prediction of what will happen in January.
No.
Is it September? An indication?
It's an indication as at September.
And so it could change by December.
Actually, changed from the August polls to the September already.
Oh, you had August polls?
We had August polls. So the August Honorable Kennedy Japan was at 41%, and he has increased by 3%. Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA was at 39.09, and he has also increased. So you could see that there is a significant increase here, but a marginal increase. However, there is a gain. Dr. Yause Duchum has also increased from 2% in August to 3%. Kennedy Japan from 0.3 to 0.86%. So that's as at August. But where we had the difference was with Dr. Brian Achampong. He was at 8% in August, and he dropped. And his drop was actually in Eastern region. And then
in his home region?
In his own region. But it wasn't that big. It dropped. However, he had some drop at certain places. So you could...
He had a rise in certain places?
He had some rise, especially in the northern sectors. Yes, he had some rise.
Champon had some rise in the northern sector?
Actually, surprisingly, the northern is shaping differently. I would...
Oh, the northern is not a shoe-in for Dr. BAWUMIA?
It is still for him. It is still for him as 50+1, as who is leading.
In the 5 northern regions? In
the 5 northern regions. By the dynamics, but still, Savannah is actually still swing. I treat Savannah, Utsi, Bruno East, I have for these 5, I treat them as swing because the competition there, things can change.
Okay, so that's the end of another video. All right, let's move on. Okay, so what are these?
So this one is just the best and the worst case scenario. Now what you see here is that 44.11% for Honorable Kennedy Japan. His highest potential is 53%. What it means that as of September, if there is any one of them that can cross the 50+1 for September, is Honorable Kennedy or Japan. However, as we are always saying, this is the best case scenario and that is the worst case scenario. And the case of Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA, and this is a question that people are asking, that 39.5, but for his best case scenario, he drops. So this
hold it. How is his best case scenario worse than his worst case scenario? Exactly. Nobody understands that.
Exactly. So I think that's where most of the people called in and I had to explain to them. So it's not the worst case scenario for the candidates. It's the worst case scenario for the contest. What it means that in this contest, the data for worst case scenario, we've not interpreted it. We've not added anything to it. A is for A, B is for B. That's what it is. But in the best case scenario, 3 variables are happening. The undecided for which they stood at 40, for example, Honorable Kennedy Japan stood at 44, but there's 6% of undecided or undisclosed who are definitely going to be now added to these candidates eventually. So for example, if you pick the one that you projected for Musa Dankwa, his was 100% because he has already added the undecided and undisclosed. So in our best case scenario, the undecided and undisclosed has been added. But we did not just do an assumption. We took another sample size out of it, and out of it, we were able to now extrapolate to see where the undecided and then the undisclosed people are. So if we do that, then there's a third variable, which we asked them. If you are voting for, in 2026, you say you vote for candidate A, who is your next best alternative? Then they say candidate B. It is a simple win or lose. It's 100%. If somebody...
Is that added to the best case scenario?
Yes.
That's the next alternative is added to the best case scenario. So if I can summarize it this way, am I correct? You say that if I'm pulling 100 people, the best case scenario is a reference to the contest. Best case scenario means I got all 100 talking to me.
Yes.
Worst case scenario is that I got only 90 talking to me.
Yes.
So in the worst case scenario of 90, Paul Adomochiri can get 40%. And in the best case scenario, he can reduce.
Yes.
Because when you come to the undecided and undisclosed, they say they are voting for the other guy. Yes. And then when you come to the next best, Paul Adomochiri doesn't get many of the next best.
So the degree of change is with the next best alternative because undecided and undisclosed come to add. So for nothing at all, people should remain constant.
Yeah.
Nothing adds to me.
Yeah.
But because of the next best alternative, people can reduce. Because let's assume we are 2 people. I have 2 loaves of bread. You have 2 loaves of bread. We are looking at a possibility of increase for any one of us. I can move to 3. I can move to 4. If I move to 3, I'll take one of your loaf of bread, which means you'll be left with 1, and I would have 3. So in the best case scenario, as someone gains, somebody pays for that gain.
Oh, that's interesting. I hope viewers, I hope you get it. It took me a long time. Forgive me, it took me a long time to get it. But I think that the boys from Accra Academy will take a while for them to get it. So Accra Academy waits more, At Disco and Kwaboche, I think they have it. St. Augustine's, they will get it tomorrow. It will be long. As for Presec, we get it right now. We got it, That's the science college, isn't it?
So I'm an amount for.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Prempeh College is the one teaching us. So that's not bad. So you see, interesting. So it means that from your data research, Kennedy Japan is gaining more in the next best.
Yes.
So people who are saying, I'll vote for Brian Achampong, you ask them, if you won't vote for Brian Achampong, if you have to, where will you go? I go to Kennedy.
Yes.
People who are voting for Cabinet Japan, assuming you vote for Cabinet Japan, who do you vote? They go to Kennedy.
Exactly.
And for the Kennedy people, when you ask them, where is theirs going?
So for Kennedy, surprisingly, the next best alternative for Kennedy is actually going for 1, 2, 3.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Avoiding injuries, easy. Winning.
All three of them are sharing.
All three of them are sharing. And then he has some for Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA. But remember, Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA previously had 61%. It means that he was the biggest winner previously for the 2023. And then if people are taken away from him, he becomes the biggest loser too.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Do you get
so part of the reason why Dr. BAWUMIA may be a loser in the second best is that he is the pole position. He's the target.
Exactly. He's the main contender that everybody takes away from, and that's what happens. But this can change by
But Kennedy was also holding 37% from 2023.
Yes, but you're having more of the people switching.
More of which people switching?
From Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA.
So Kennedy is holding most of his 37% from the old one?
No, yes, compared to the others, yes, he holds. Compared to the other three candidates.
Was Kwabena Japan not in the last? Oh no, he left at the first stage.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the end of another video. Let's look at this one. What's this now?
So there's the nominal values that we've discussed. So we can move on to the next.
Okay, so this is about the same. Okay, what's this now?
And this one is the region. So
the original, yeah.
Yes, the original one. But let's move to the percentages. It's easier for people to understand on the percentage.
So
the next one. So it's the same thing.
All right.
So what happens is that in Ashanti region currently, for that of September, Honorable Kennedy Japan is at 42.26. Means he's not leading emphatically, that's like we see in maybe Northeast, for example, which is Northeast, which is 86.05.
For Dr. BAWUMIA?
Exactly.
Oh, wow, that's huge.
Yes, but there's this thing about population density. And population density is very important. I don't know if you can come back just to show, okay, back again. So, lest I forget, you see the undisclosed is all here, the undecided is all here, the total is over there, and this is the undisclosed and then the undecided. Now, I want to use the total delegate size just to explain this. If you pick, for example, Northeast, you're having 3,490.
Oh, so you can have 100% of it, but the numbers, the real numbers are not.
So that's how.
Okay, that's interesting.
Now, this 3,490, for example, is less than 10% of Ashanti region. It's less than 10% of.
So you can pick all of 100% here. If you don't do well in Ashanti, you're still behind.
That's come in 2023, the two-horse race. Honorable Kennedy Japan won just 2 regions. It was Central and Volta, and then came close at 47 and 53 in Greater Accra, and yet got 37%. Because
Dr. Mahmoud was won 14 regions.
Yes.
And got 60%.
And 61.
61%. Yes. And Kennedy won 2 regions.
Yes.
And was on 37, half of what he got.
Yes.
That's interesting. I get it. Okay. So let's get back to the percentages. So Kennedy is doing 42 in Ashanti.
Exactly. So what happens is that August, we found out that Bono East and then Ahafo. Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA was leading the worst case scenario. But then when we moved to September, Ahafo has switched to Kennedy Japan. Bono has switched. Bono East remained the same.
So in terms of the regional, Kennedy Japan has Ashanti, Ahafo, Bono for September. Dr. BAWUMIA has control over Bono East. Kennedy has Central. Eastern is not Brian?
So Eastern is the surprising part we had in September. So in August, Brian was actually leading. And this is what is happening. Honorable Kennedy Japan, in 2023, the votes that he has increased a little bit, not too much.
In
Eastern. And then we have Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA, who is the biggest loser in Eastern, because Dr. Brian Champon is taken away from his votes. Then something happened in Eastern with the 15 MPs and all other things that happened. Some people switched a little bit. And while the 2 of them are taken away from themselves, there is someone who is constant there. So let's assume that you have 9 and I have 7 and he has maybe 3. The 3 takes 3 from your 9, you get to 6. And then you get to 6 too, but the one at 7 remains constant, so the 7 sails through as through. So whilst that goes on, he sails through.
Greater Accra region has Kennedy Japan as well, at 50%.
At 50%.
A bigger percentage than Ashanti.
Yes, a bigger percentage.
How did Kennedy do in Greater Accra in the last one?
47.
And Dr. BAWUMIA 50 something?
53.
Oh, Kennedy had as much as 47 in.
Yes.
Oh, that was a lot.
Yes.
In Greater Accra region, 47%.
Yes. Even just Adenta, for example, was just by 1 vote. He won by 728,727. That is how.
Dr. BAWUMIA won by a single vote.
Kennedy Japan.
He won the Adenta constituency in 2023.
A single vote.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Adenta.
Yes.
Hey. Well, this time Adenta is for Kozimenu, so I'm sure that it's going to be a big story for Dr.
Yes.
BAWUMIA. But anyway, so he has control over half of Greater Accra.
Yes.
Is this true?
Now look at the surprising thing. Look at the best case scenario.
One thing that you people need to know is that not all businesses or not all jobs will take you to the level you want to be. You see, a few years ago, I used to sell popcorn on the road in Ibadan. And even though I had big dreams, the truth was those dreams were never going to come to pass. Why? Because of the vehicle that I was using to make money, right? So eventually in 2020, on this random day, I was scrolling through social media just like we were doing a few minutes ago. And then I stumbled on this man called Mr. Michael Olatunji. And he introduced me to this business called CPA marketing, right? When he introduced me to CPA marketing, I did not understand how it was working, but he just broke it down as you partnering with foreign companies and you get paid in dollars for doing it. And I was in Nigeria and I was like, I was going to move to Canada in 2022. This business was what helped me fund my move to Canada. I mean, even right now, I live in Canada. I don't need to have a job to survive. Why? Because I discovered this business in 2020, right? So this man who introduced me to this business has not had a training in a long time. But recently, he has decided to put together a training where he's going to break down how CPA marketing works, introduce you to the basics, and help you get started with it. It's not something he's going to do again, so it's a one-time opportunity. So I want you to sign up for his training, join in. It's going to be a life-changing one. And guess what? If you attend and you think, it's not worth it, it's not asking you to pay any money, right? It's a free training. So if it's worth it, it could change your life. It's not worth it, you move on. So I've told you about it. Click on the link below. Sign up for the training right now and don't miss out. Attend the training. It can be life-changing for you. See you on the other side. Bye, guys.
Oh, with the best case scenario, he shoots up to 56, commanding lead.
Yes, so majority of the undecided in Greater Accra are looking more at Honorable Kennedy in Japan.
Dr. BAWUMIA comes up with a lead in Northeast, in the Northern region, where he's doing 61%. That's quite significant. In OT region, he's doing 43% and leading. So, why is there a big split in OT region? Why is he leading at 43?
So OT is also, like I told you, is a swing. So OT and Savannah. So here he has 51, here he has 43, and these places can change.
Okay. Upper East region, Dr. BAWUMIA picks it up again. So even with this, Dr. BAWUMIA has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 16 regions. Yes. That means Kennedy Japan has 9. That should be a big jump for Kennedy from 2023 then.
Yes, a huge one. A huge one. Because, for example, Western North wasn't, but now it is. Western region wasn't, now it is. That's based on August and then September polls.
Central region, you put Kennedy at 64.
Yes, Central region, yes, at 64. But he could look at it.
Ooh. In Central region, he has Kennedy at 64.
Yes.
In the best case scenario, he has Kennedy at 83.
Yes.
Is that not enough at this stage to call Central region for Kennedy in January?
So for places I can call for, Central I can confidently call for, Volta I can confidently call for, just like he did previously. Western North, I think most of the 9 from August up to September, he has increased and he keeps increasing. That's why, I mean, some of them were saying...
What's happening in Ashanti? Why is he leading with 42? Is everyone getting something over there?
No, so Ashanti region, the first most important thing is that you have Dr. Yao-Said Duchumi in the race.
Yes, very much so.
Exactly. And he is also taken from Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA.
Oh, I see.
And
so
then,
that's what is weakening Dr. BAWUMIA.
Exactly. So what is actually
What about Kwabena Japan? He's also from Ashanti.
So Kwabena Japan, I think for some reason, is yet to, his message now is working. You could see a change from August to September, but he's still not been well grounded yet among the delegates. I think with time it will come up.
Does he have time up to January?
His message is going down very well. His message is going, because in percentage terms, he's the biggest winner even in the September polls. There's a
What is his message? Do you know?
So his message is trying to tell them is that basically it is time for the party to go back to its roots. So we need to go, there's a lot of things going wrong in the party. Let's get back to the fundamentals of the party.
And so he's doing, let's go back to basics.
Yes, let's go back to the basics. And people...
What's Kennedy Japan's message?
So Kennedy is all about employment.
Employment.
Yes.
I'll give you jobs.
Yeah, he's talking about
I swear to God.
Yeah, he's talking about social contracts. And he's telling the people about Didija and the fact that, so he has a social contract that he's given to the delegates.
I'll do this for you.
And he's telling them that what he's going to do is that he's going to get jobs for them. And the jobs, they are Ghanaians. And therefore, and the jobs is resonating with them. Because now, I would say free SHS is the biggest blessing that we've had so far. But because of free SHS, we have more people who are educated. We have less jobs waiting for them. And people are thinking that, where would my child go? Where would they find a job? And then he's telling them how he's going to do. And what he's doing is that he's being very practical when it comes to every constituency, every region. He has a specific message for all of them.
What is Dr. BAWUMIA's message?
So Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA's message currently is about the fact that we committed some mistakes. We did some errors. We are sorry for that. There are things that we think that, and then he talks about Didija, that we are going to ensure that there will be this warfare, we'll do this, we'll do that, and so on and so forth. And the people are, and he's also telling them that he went, and therefore he's the most marketable candidate, he's the most prepared, and for that reason we should give him another chance.
What is Dr. Duchum's message?
So Dr. Duchum's, amazingly, he still hits on the education, that there's my track record in education, and with education we can actually change the country. And then he's also telling them that we need as a party to get united. So he's acting like the unifier person, saying that let's get united and so on and so forth.
What's Lion Brian's message?
So Brian is actually with one of the strongest messages for his people, telling them that where we are heading to, we need a revolution. So he is actually going for an entire revolution, a change of the system. It didn't work, let's drop and then come for a new person. We need new energy, new...
So his message is saying don't vote for Dr. BAWUMIA. Is that really?
His message is saying that it didn't work. Not necessarily Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA.
Whatever we did didn't work.
It didn't work. And we need new person,
new people at all levels.
No, he's talking about himself. We need a new person, new energy, new... And that's what it's saying.
And he says he has that new energy.
Yes, he believes that he has that. He believes that he has that.
I see. That's good on the original one. This is the same thing representing the map of it, the savannah and all of that. And so this is your conclusion.
And all that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So the original is another video now.